Legends Championship is about to begin. Again, dodgy conditions here at Knockhill. Dry-ish line out on track, but it is going to provide some great racing. This particular race we have John Bushby pulled the pole position. John in his second year of racing Legends. John, good position on the grid, mate.
Yeah, a ball drawer obviously, reverse grid. Had an interesting first race. Didn't do too bad, picked a few places back after a little excursion at Clark's. Hopefully I can make a start on this one and make something better.
Dodgy conditions today. It's like there's a dry line, but it seems just as slippy on the dry line as it is on the wet bit.
Very certain it is. I was struggling to find grip in odd places. I found a grip in the hairpins taking a tighter line than I would normally do. And then at Clark's, no grip at all. So I'll just have to see what I can find when I get there.
Have fun, let's see you staying at the front.
Thank you, and same again. Thanks to my sponsors, Joe, for putting me back out for a second year. I've got to support, it's brilliant, mate. And the marshals, a great job. Thank you.
Takes a lot of help, doesn't it? Good luck, John.
Yeah.
With the Legends, it's great in the fact that there's so many of them and it always provides really good close racing. Upstairs, they're going to run you through the full run out for the grid, and I'll hand it over.
Here's the grid for the first Scottish Legends race with David Newall and Paul Mackay drawing the front row of the grid. Former champion Colin Atkinson back on row 2. Now, two of the top drivers from last year not with us this season. We have got a lot of new drivers, including Ewan Mackay, who starts at the back. LJ Allan is another one. John Paterson, a rookie. Warren Allen as well. And we'll talk more about the entry as we get going. This is the view, though, from David Hunter. And we're racing here with Colin Atkinson going around the outside, the red and white car. The red car with the gold star is Gerard McCosh, and alongside him Ross Mickel in number 18. Looks like a cracking start, and it's Paul Mackay that leads in orange, going down to Scotsman Corner from Colin Atkinson in second place. Then Gerard McCosh, right the way down the field we go. 36 is LJ Allan, 81 the 17-year-old Ewan Mackay, younger brother of Daniel Mackay, and of course son of Paul, who we got used to seeing last year. So Paul now has got his two sons out racing as well, which is great. Emphasises what a family sport this is, and reminiscent of the Hines family from years gone by. But it's Paul Mackay showing what a vastly improved driver he is, newcomer to racing just a season or so ago, and he leads them as they come down into the hairpin for the first time. Colin Atkinson, the former champion, behind him. Then it's Ross Mickel. Running well is David Hunter. There is 91 Daniel Mackay, who was very close to his dad on points last season. David Newall in the red and black car is in the mix as well. And it looks like a cracking start by everybody. Now Gerard McCosh on the inside at the moment, down in 4th place. The red car, Gerard, one of the most experienced drivers in the field, but it's Paul Mackay hanging on, and this takes guts. It's only his second proper season of Legends racing, but he's leading, and he's got some quality drivers all over the back end of him at the moment as they head down towards John Arware. Mackay still holds on to it. He's led the first lap. Now that says to me that he's capable of winning a race now, given a decent draw. And remember, it's a grid draw that decides how they start in the first 2 races of any 3-race Legends meeting. He's got Ross Mickel all over the back of him. You've got to fancy Mickel for this race win. No Ross Marshall or Carol Brown racing this weekend. Carol, I believe, watching, and she won last year's championship on the very last race of the season. As Ross Mickel darts to the inside, and he's through, clean manoeuvre, but Mackay doesn't want to surrender second place, drops into line, stops Gerard McCosh from going through on the inside. Gerard, though, will bide his time, and maybe they're thinking momentarily about popping up the inside on the straight, but it's Ross Mickel leading from Paul Mackay. Gerard McCosh, then David Hunter in the number 6 car. The grey machine is in 4th place. 5th position is Aki, Colin Atkinson, the former champion. And Colin, of course, his championship year, an absolutely remarkable year, real consistent and fast, which is what you need to do in Legends. I remember talking to one of the national drivers a good while ago who said that you could win a championship if you finished in the top 4 of every race, then you could secure a championship. I don't think that's been done for a long while, but because things have probably moved on since then. But it's a very, very competitive, tough championship. Great entry-level motorsport. We've got Steve McGill, I think, there, car number 5, about to get the blue flag. And Gerard McCosh now up into second place and chasing Ross Mickel hard. So down they come into the hairpin once again. A little bit of side-by-side action going on there. 28 is David Allan, change of livery for him this year. David Newall looks up the inside. Sideways moment for the blue number 3 car of John Paterson. Up the hill they go once again. These Legends heats go for 8 laps. It is Stephen McGill who pulls over to the outside of the track. Ross Mickel's through safe and sound, looking to add to his career win. He's had 23 wins in Legends cars, Ross Mickel, 30 fastest laps, 81 times on the podium. Gerard McCosh, another driver with a checkered history in Legends, 6 class wins. I don't think he's taken an outright win, but won the Scottish class 6 times when the cars were mixed up with the Nationals a good few years back. But in terms of career points, he's scored over 41,000 points in Scottish Legends and a further 13,000 or thereabouts in UK Legends, meaning that he scored a stunning 54,000 points in his career, but not the most pointed driver, as it were, in Legends. That's Pete Moore. He's got over 76,000 points, and we might see Peter sometime this year, as Paul Mackay just drifting a little bit wide there, but still running very strongly, hardly lost any ground. He's still in 3rd place. This is a very good drive from Mackay and showing how you develop as a driver. And now it's David Hunter, goes to the inside line under the Beeson Springs. I think he's got the line as they come down into Duffus. One of the most fearsome bits of racetrack. Has a little bit of a moment there. I think Mackay jammed the brakes on, a little bit of a lock-up, lost a position or two. Still in the mix, his son's catching up. There is the 51 car starting to close in. Sorry, the 91 car, I beg your pardon. It's 50 Paul Mackay, 91 Daniel Mackay, and 81 Ewan Mackay, all running with the lovely orange livery on the car. They're trying to catch up with Dad now, so we've got a little bit of a father and son battle about to go on. Paul racing the 1934 Chevrolet Coupe style. 2 main body styles to watch out for are either the sedan or the coupe. The sedan has the bigger rear quarter window, and you can see the coupes there have the smaller ones, and there's a trio of coupes going through, led by David Newall. And I think we're about to see David Allan make a move here up on the inside line of the grey car of David Hunter. So I think Hunter still side by side with him. Sure whether he's going to hold on to that at the moment. Paul Mackay still in the mix as well, and not too far behind, but the fastest man on track at the moment is David Hunter, believe it or not. Car number 6, the grey car. So best lap time 68.257, and you can see in the distance Ross Mickel and Gerard McCosh having a really good old scrap. So Gerard, the most successful driver in terms of championship points. Ross Mickel is the nearest to him in terms of today's field. Ross at the moment is 6 on career standings, 19,000 points, and he's edging towards Ross Marshall, who's the 5th most successful driver in Scottish Legends in terms of points. And look at this cracking battle that we've got between 4 and 6 car. David Newall looking for the inside line. On the outside, his teammate David Hunter. Newell's got the line here. Hunter might well slip up the inside, but it's the other David Allan in blue and white, who goes up the inside and takes the position. It looks to me as if Hunter was having a little bit of a squirrely moment there as he came out of the hairpin. Up across the line they go.
Upheavals in American sports is in the world of motor racing, especially sports car racing. There's mergers, new series being proposed, audiences coming and going, drivers getting younger and younger. That's why you need the Racing Insiders on MAV TV to help you navigate the turmoil. The Racing Insiders is a new, weekly, 30-minute news show covering sports car racing, whether it's being done professionally, globally, or by the local grassroots club. Award-winning journalist Bill Wood will host the weekly discussions, along with race-winning insiders Peter Keane in Florida and Jim Daniels in Tennessee. It's a fast-paced, edgy sports show. They'll even reach out to guest insiders to bring you behind-the-scenes insider information you'll want to know. This new era in sports car racing needs the Racing Insiders.
The Racing Insiders on MAV TV, Thursdays at 2 and 5 p.m. Eastern, and again on Saturdays at noon.
And Gerard McCosh challenging for the lead, just out of shot. McCosh really going for it as they go down Duffer's Dip. There in third place is David Newall from David Allan. David Hunter in sixth. That one looks relatively settled now, although David Allan's starting to have another go. So, Rally Dave, as he's known, getting it just a little bit sideways there, and at the moment hanging on to fourth position, but Ross Mickel still out front from Gerard McCosh. Best lap time from Ross, a 1:08.6. Gerard McCosh slightly quicker of the two, a 68.429. You can see why Gerard is not being lost. Having a good go. It's nice to see Gerard at the last round of the UK Championships last year down at Brands Hatch. Loves his travelling, loves going and taking part and competing on different circuits, as well as, of course, having the predominantly Knockhill-based championship here. And I think possibly the oldest driver in the field, still showing the youngsters the way to do it. It's marvellous to have a championship where the older drivers can still do well. And up across the line, onto the last of the 8 laps for the 2 heats. Remember, the second heat will see the grid reversed. The drivers that started at the back of this one will start at the front, apart from the new drivers, because they have to start 2 meetings at the back of the field until they've got to grips with the racing side of things from the back of the field, and then they go into the main draw. Now, the last race of the day, if you haven't seen Legends Cars Racing before, is actually based on the points scored in the first 2 races, with the top scorer starting at the back, so it's a fully reversed grid. And if you haven't seen the cars before, I'll tell you a little bit about them. They're a space frame chassis. They are based on the 1930s American NASCAR type races, and tubular chassis featuring a Yamaha 1250cc engine. They all run on the same tyres. It's a terrific little formula. Looks like LJ Annand going down the 36 car, a name I seem to remember from the British Cross Country Championship. And I don't think he's going to be lapped, so it's going to be a good baptism for him in Legends. But Ross Mickel is going to make it 24 Scottish career wins from Gerard McCosh. Mickel takes it. Ross Mickel sets out his stall for the 2013 season from Gerard McCosh, and look at the gap that they've got. Dave Newall takes third position from David Allan and David Hunter, and Ross Mickel is delighted with that. We saw him take wins last season. Here's confirmation of that result from Gerard McCosh, David Newall and Dave Allan. David Hunter in 5th. Paul Mackay did get the better of his son Daniel, then Billy Waite, Colin Atkinson and Kieran Gallagher in 10th position. 11th went to John Paterson, and a cracking first race for the 2013 season.
Dave, third place, good start to the year, but some really, really tricky conditions out there, especially for these Legends.
It was tricky out there. I mean, I started on the front row. I'm a bit disappointed with third, to be honest. The first 3 laps probably had a misfire. Cars were flying past me left, right and centre, to be honest, and I didn't know. I was just going to persevere and try and bag whatever points I could get. But luckily it cleared after about 3 laps, so I could start picking up the places again, pulled back up to third, so got to be happy with that.
So without the problem, we'll see you up the sharp end later on? Potentially the win?
Fingers crossed.
Good luck. Gerard, great start to the year with a good solid second place. Ross is absolutely flying, but I tell you, doing well.
He certainly is. I think I was a wee bit quicker than him potentially, but I just could not find a way past. Nearly put myself off at the end of the straight, and I thought, oh, I'll just hold back. I was going to try for him on the last lap, but I mucked up the chicane, so I wasn't close enough. I was going to dive up the inside of the hairpin.
It really is a case in these conditions of getting the year off to a good start and bringing home some points, isn't it?
Just exactly, and a sort of teammate in a manner of speaking. You know, we both run out of Ali Hunter's camp, and pointless bringing back a bent car after the first race.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Ross, first win, great way to start the year. You were really quick yesterday, somebody told me, and you've continued that through today.
Yes, after a day of testing yesterday, I managed to get the car set up nicely, and this morning out when it's quite slidey, the car was running well again, so in the race there, yep, very happy with that. It's a good start to the year.
Not fazed by the conditions at all? I don't envy you in these. I've driven a Legend in the wet once and I was absolutely terrified.
They are quite tricky, but again, it's just being smooth and consistent, staying off the curbs and staying in the black stuff, as they say, so thankfully I did, and first win of the year.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Driver of Legends car H282, please go to the
John Bushby starts on pole in race 2 with Enrico Palazzo alongside. Then it's David Mickel and David Allan, Kieran Gallagher and Billy Waite on row 3, followed by Ross Mickel and Daniel Mackay. Paul O'Brien next with David Hunter, then Gerard McCosh and Colin Atkinson, David Newall and Paul Mackay, then John Paterson and Ewan Mackay 16th on the grid. Warren Allen, Steve McGill, LJ Annand and Mike Bain completing the 20-car grid for our second heat. Pace car you can see in the distance pulling off onto the tri-oval on the inside, and we're ready to go with our locked on camera here on the wall, ready to capture the action as these 1250cc cars burst into life. Eric Palazzo's car on the outside of the front row, about to get going. We're on board with Paul O'Brien, one of the front runners from last year. It was a DNF for him in the first race of the day. On his outside, 91 Daniel Mackay, and up ahead of him the field that he's got to deal with, but it's a cracking start then from 28. David Allan made excellent progress in the first race of the day. There's Paul Mackay at number 50 being followed by John Paterson, car number 3. This is the onboard view from him as we look. This is effectively the view that everybody had in the first race, because Paul Mackay led in the early stages, and you can see he's going to have a go at passing Gerard McCosh as they come up into Clark Corner. He's looking at the inside line. Now they're a little bit further back, but Eric Palazzo is the first car through shot. Whether he's still in the lead, we'll have to wait and see. No, it's 28 now. David Allan in lead position. Eric Palazzo running in second place. John Bushby in orange and white goes up the inside and on board with Paul O'Brien, and it'll tap into the back of 42. David Mickel, who's running well. Second full season for David, the retired design and technology teacher, running his own business in race car development now, which is good. So talking about going in at the deep end, but you have to really admire what he's done the last season. He was a complete newcomer. He's got an immaculately prepared car. So Daniel Mackay in 91 looking at the outside line. There is Eric Palazzo, the distinctive red, white and green livery. Up into second place now goes Ross Mickel, who sliced his way through the field very effectively. So Mickel just ahead of Billy Waite, car number 17, the two black cars. The Billy Waite car you can see there with the red writing on the sunscreen. He's got a picture of Dennis the Menace on the back as well. John Bushby still running pretty strongly as well in 16, another rookie from last season who's getting better and better. And this is the one thing you see about Legends Racing, is that there are some real quick guys in it, but the rookies tend to get on the pace fairly quickly as well, and we're seeing that from David Mickel and John Bushby this year as well. Bushby running in orange, in deference to the fact that he used to be the other side of the fence as a race marshal. I know I told probably regulars that last season, but watching for the first time, a nice acknowledgement for the marshals that do such great work. Down the straight we go. There is Paul O'Brien, the affable young Irishman, up ahead of Daniel Mackay. John Bushby in 16, car number 4 David Newall, 6 is David Hunter, who's cutting his way through the field as well, making progress. So Daniel Mackay this time with more an advantage on the grid. He almost caught his dad in the first race, but this time of course on the reverse grid he starts in front. Battle going on for lead position at the moment, with Ross Mickel busy challenging David Allan for the race lead. A great big gaggle of cars mid-pack, and included in there is David Newall. Looks like Ross Mickel's got the lead now. So Mickel up front, still very misty, difficult for the race officials, the commentary team here at Knockhill to be able to see what's going on all around the circuit. Bushby runs a little bit wide, the Stars and Stripes livery there. Kieran Gallagher, car number 2. Reminiscent, reminds of the livery used by John Higgins. I think JJ actually did use that car. As Ross Mickel there confirmed in lead position. David Allan down to second. Now Allan, last year's rookie champion, will be looking for outright wins this year, but at the moment Ross Mickel, it's great to see the sedan shape taking wins as well over the course of the last few seasons, both in the National Championship and in the Scottish. We've seen the coupe shape tend to be preferred. I think some of the drivers think it's quicker. The chassis is the same. One driver said to me the only reason he actually goes for the coupe is that it's easier to fill up. It's easier to fill up the petrol tank. But Ross Mickel in the sedan, so wonderful to see somebody sitting in the sedan chair, so to speak, taking the bat to the others of them. And there is the number 18 car, Now, if he wins this race, he'll break 20,000 career points. So a little bit of a milestone for Mickel as he climbs up the hill, still in lead place. David Allan in second. He's going to plant Mickel very firmly at the back of the grid for the final. We'll have it all to do with a couple of extra laps with which to do it. Daniel Mackay in 91.
Want to keep up with all the racing action at the track? Well, download the new GoRacingTV iPhone and Android app. And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
O'Brien, followed by David Hunter in car number 6. Gaggle of cars all involved in the mix. You saw Billy Waite in there as well. Billy not losing too much time. There's the Dennis the Menace livery. David Newall just managing to pop a move past him. Out towards Clark Corner, and racing relatively settled at the moment. Looks like it was going to be a move put on there. I think John Paterson in the number 3 car passing Billy Waite. John Paterson, one of the newcomers in the championship, and looking pretty handy. The number 3 car, one of the Burnett Motorsport stable. Darren Galton, I think, used to race that one. I'm not sure if it is Darren's car or not. We'll get confirmation from the Burnett team chief Steve McCall on that one. There is Daniel Mackay going up across the line again. I've got to say, looking at the field, there's a fair number of drivers who are capable of taking race wins here, and we're looking at a hatful of them there. Now, whilst it's bad news that we haven't got Carol Brown and Ross Marshall racing in terms of the quality of the field, when drivers like that move on or move away from a championship, it does give the opportunity for others to come on. And obviously we've still got the likes of Ross Mickel and Gerard McCosh that are quick, but effectively it's going to open up the podium, and it's going to open up the top slot for new drivers to come in, and that's of course how the sport develops over the years. The great thing about Legends, it's a stable sport. You don't have to buy a new car year on year. If you were coming into the Formula Ford Championship, not the Scottish Formula Fords, that's a stable championship, but if you're in F3 or something like that, you buy a new car every year. Legends car will last you for ages. Gerard McCosh has been running his for years now as Daniel Mackay looks down the inside. A little bit of opposite lock from David Newall. John Paterson's going to look up the inside. Paterson looks like a very lively recruit, doesn't he, to the championship? So working his way through from the back of the field, side by side they go. Paterson in blue, is he going to be able to squeeze through past Daniel Mackay? I think he's got the job done past the orange car. There is Paul O'Brien in number 9. O'Brien running strongly, still ahead of David Hunter, and I think in about 6th position at the moment. So out front, it's Ross Mickel still trying to pull away. O'Brien and Hunter, David Allan still in 2nd place, losing a little bit of ground on Ross Mickel at the moment. Fastest man on track in these drier conditions is actually John Paterson, a 60.832. That's an absolutely stunning time from Paterson. Where on earth has he pulled that from? That is really good for the driver running in the rookie class, first year driver. Throws the car in to the corner, you can see there, massive opposite lock there. That's not going to give him fastest lap, and Daniel Mackay goes through, so too does David Newall in black and red, but it's Ross Mickel on to the last lap. Ross Mickel leads, David Allan in 2nd place. There's the gap 1st to 2nd. You're looking at a gap of around 2.3 seconds as they came across the line down towards Scotsman Corner. There's Mickel, there's Allan in the blue and white car in 2nd place. David Hunter is still there in 3rd, the dark grey machine. But Ross Mickel looks like he's going to make it 2 heat wins out of 2 here to open up his 2013 campaign. You might remember he missed the first couple of meetings of last year's championship, and I've got to say that Ross, probably the best driver in this championship not to have won a title. If you look back at the stats, you would have expected him to have had a championship title by now, and he hasn't. Maybe the 2013 season is going to be his year, but it's the man from Edinburgh who turns it round to the right, the climb up out of the hairpin and now up towards the start-finish line, and he can barely see the checkered flag through the mist here at Knockhill, but he takes the win, 2 out of 2. David Allan next, then it's David Hunter. Paul O'Brien gets his first finish of the season under his belt in 4th place, ahead of David Newall, but it's 2 out of 2 for Mickel, and he will start the final race, the third race of the first round of the championship from the back of the field. Confirmation of his win. David Allan second, then David Hunter, Paul O'Brien fourth from David Newall, John Paterson in sixth, Daniel Mackay seventh from Kieran Gallagher and Billy Waite, Colin Atkinson rounding out the top 10 in car number 30.
You've got to be happy with that, because from where you were starting there, it was a bit of a fight around you. Lots of cars, lots of teammates pushing forward.
Well, started ninth. I had Paul O'Brien, Dave Newall. I saw John Paterson making an appearance as well, so it was a busy part of the grid.
Managed to get yourself through, because Paul O'Brien was pushing you very hard towards the end there, and it's nice to see a new teammate coming through as well. John Paterson, you know, he's done a lot before though. He's quick, isn't he?
Well, apparently he's got a lot of experience, and it's starting to show there today. Yeah.
Okay, Dave, good luck for the final. Where are you starting?
I don't know. Not seen it yet.
Love
Near
it.
the back anyway.
No problem. Catch you later, Dave. Okay, standing here with David Allan, finished second place in that second Legend race. Bit of a lonely race after a quite hectic start, Dave.
Yeah, we got down at the first corner into Duffus there, and I could see I was away for the back, but Ross caught me quite quickly. I went down the gravel, but no, it's been an eventful race, and I'm quite happy with second place.
You've had a good meeting so far, 2 good results here. What's the final going to hold for you?
Well, we'll wait and see. Fight for the back from now on, but no, it's good. I like fighting for the back. I like the rain. If it come back on rain, it would suit me.
Enjoying the track conditions away there, having a little bit of less grip?
There's not much grip out there. There's not much grip out there, but I'm enjoying it, so that's all that matters.
Thank you very much, David Allan. Okay, Ross Mickel, still tuned into the race over there. Hopefully that's not your iPhone you're listening to, the way you're cruising around in the lead of that race.
Oh, a bit of Tom Petty, American Girls, it's great.
Oh, but on a serious note, a class drive. Your first race was good, that race was even better. The final's got to be looking good for 3 out of 3.
I'm hoping so, yes. Again, starting at the back, it's going to be a bit trickier, but yeah, I think once we get through the first couple laps unscathed, then we've got a good chance.
A few of the other drivers have been saying the track's very low in grip today, and it's quite dirty from previous incidents.
It's very dirty, it's very low in grip, we just can't get any heat in the tyres at all. But apparently that's what the engineer said to me. I don't know what that means, really.
Good luck for the final anyway.
Thanks very much, cheers.
it's a great start from Paul O'Brien, who nips past John Bushby. Looks like David Micklejohn's lost a couple of positions, held his nerve at the start, still there. He's just been passed by Kieran Gallagher. There's Mike Bain in 44. Welcome to the championship tonight. John Paterson, I suppose being a rookie, the disadvantage out rather David Allan, 28.1 car, cutting his way slowly through the field. So Ross Mickel second. It's John Bushby who's getting better and better. Impressive drive from Bushby.
Some of the biggest upheavals in American sports is in the world of motor racing, especially sports car racing. There's mergers, new series being proposed, audiences coming and going, drivers getting younger and younger. That's why you need the Racing Insiders on MAV TV to help you navigate the turmoil. The Racing Insiders is a new, weekly, 30-minute news show covering sports car racing, whether it's being done professionally, globally, or by the local grassroots club. Award-winning journalist Bill Wood will host the weekly discussions, along with race-winning insiders Peter Keene in Florida and Jim Daniels in Tennessee. It's a fast-paced, edgy sports show. They'll even reach out to guest insiders to bring you behind-the-scenes insider information you'll want to know. This new era in sports car racing needs the Racing Insiders.
The Racing Insiders on MAV TV, Thursdays at 2 and 5 p.m. Eastern, and again on Saturdays at noon.
but the man who's consistently been quick and tactically quick as well, getting his way through the traffic, is Ross Mickel. And as we said, this could well be the start of his championship year. Just leading this group of cars and holding sway. Kieran Gallagher and David Hunter. Teammate. That will stop, of course, as they get down into Duffus. They pass David Mickel safely into Scotsman corner. Can Paul O'Brien get past? Of course, the fact that he's been passed already tends to indicate time. A little bit of opposite lock for Newall in second place, but there is the black and white flag. The checkered flag signifies the end of the race. Ross Mickel wins. Newall second. O'Brien is fourth. Going to gap back. I think David Hunter's going to take fourth. Here he comes up the hill. David Hunter takes fourth position. David Allan, Daniel Mackay, big late seventh from Kieran Gallagher. But what a stunning meeting. 3 out of 3 for Ross Mickel. 2 reverse grid heats, and he's done it from the back in the final. Are we looking at potentially the 2013 champion? It's a long, long way to go. There's confirmation of the top 10. Mickel, Newall, O'Brien, Hunter, 7, Kieran Gallagher 8, John Paterson in 9th.
Paul, good start to the year, ending the day like that as well, with a good strong podium. Something tells me you're not 100% happy though.
Yeah, starting at the front, and obviously I would be expecting to try get a win, but just the way it goes, like I pushed pretty hard at the start, and then I just didn't leave any life left in the tyres. So it got a bit too hot at the end, and just last 4 laps was just too tail happy.
Too hot? It's snowing.
Yeah, well, these tyres are so soft that you get pretty hot pretty quick, and it's rear-wheel drive car. So no, I was pretty disappointed this morning. Alternator packed up on me, so I got around the formation lap, and then the car just cut out. That was that race over. Got through the pack fairly well in race 2, got up to 4th, so I was pretty happy with that. And then I thought being near the front that I would get away, but then Ross I just seen a black car in the mirrors, and I couldn't even believe it, he was there. But no, fair play to Ross, he's got 600 points today, and I'm happy enough. Like, it's a long way to go, 27 races to go. So Ross could have DNS rally, Dave could have some DNS, and all I got to do is keep finishing up here, and it can hopefully what happened last year will happen this year, maybe 1 or 2 spots higher. So
it's a good start to the year, Paul. Well done. Some good points today.
Cheers. Thanks so much.
Dave, earlier on you said you had the pace, and you certainly proved it. Good effort.
It was good. Unfortunately, I didn't get a good run at the start. Ross was away, he got through the pack really quickly. And then once I got settled into my groove, I think I was sitting in 3rd with Paul O'Brien and Ross Mickel in front of me, so I just had to get the head in and try and pick them off. Me and Paul should have maybe been trying to work together a bit. I think Paul was maybe struggling with the car a wee bit, but too much of a gap to catch Ross in the dying laps. But it's happy days. I've had a good meeting, so and Ross has had a good meeting there, so happy days.
Good solid start to the championship with some good points, but like Ross is on a roll, isn't he? You got to break him soon before he gets to running away with it too big-headed.
Exactly. No, I look forward to having some close races in the next few rounds, that's for sure. And we'll come back fighting.
Well done.
Thank you.
Ross, we said earlier on with the first win this morning that you had the pace to do it, and there you go, you proved it.
3 out of 3, can't be bad. Great start to the year, yeah. Thoroughly delighted. Big thanks to Ali for setting the car up so well, and yeah, I couldn't have asked for any more.
Absolutely, the perfect score. Is it easy as it looked?
No, not at all. These guys are really quick, and everyone with the track drying, everyone kind of levels up a lot. So it was hard work, but once I got through at the front, kind of sat there looking in mirrors going, don't catch me, and kept the foot down and managed to hold on.
Well done, great day today, some really good results, and I'm tipping you for the championship.
Thank you very much, a bit early for that surely.
Jinxing you for the championship.
Yeah, no, maybe.
Unfortunately, that's all we have time for from the Scottish Legends Championship, but please join us next time for plenty more frantic action.